Okay, so I've been listening to the After School album all morning, and I really, really, really like it. There are a lot of points to discuss, though. I mean, I have a lot of arguments and a lot of doubts, but as a whole, as an album, it's really good. I mean, K-pop standards, usually albums aren't that cohesive. There's not much going on. It's okay. It's the lead single and it's a bunch of ballads. That's it. But this album, it's a lot like the albums I really like. It's very dynamic. There are a lot of different songs, but they're very cohesive. They're like that. They're strong songs, and they're strong apart and they're strong together, and everything just came together nicely. Even if I have a lot of thoughts, obviously I have a lot of thoughts. Even if there are things that aren't really polished and aren't really well done, individually as a whole, like I said, every uh, it's a it's something I'd listen to from start to finish and not skip a single track. And even in Western things, that doesn't happen a lot to me. So now, here are a few. Let me just discuss a few points that will be further explained in my text review. But just okay. Um, I have notes. Yes. So, first thing, why was Shampoo the lead single? So I recorded an earlier version of this vlog, and I was like, why is it the lead single? I don't like it. It's too clean, it's too pretty. I like, but so I just watched the video now. Actually, I just saw it now, and it's nice. I like it. I like actually. In reality, I like the song. I like the video. I like their vocals, partially, but but it's not them. And so even if I like it, it's not. Even if I like it, it's not something that I can identify with them. Maybe something I can't identify with them yet, or maybe something I will never be able to identify with them. It's all a matter of how the promotions of this play out, really. So like I was saying, why is Shampoo the lead single? I don't know. I don't. I have absolutely no idea. Because you hear not Diva, oh my god, sorry, not Diva. You hear Virgin and you hear that other song, Dream. Those two. They sound so much like After School. They sound like how After School should sound like her at this point. Because you see, they're maturing a lot. Things have really drastically changed since Diva and Ah. Even and like I said during last night's single review, even if not the jump from Ah and Diva to Notemune was gigantic, they had the 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 intensity and the urgency of those two songs, and there was lots of attitude, and that's what made them them. And then in Bang was just literally a big bang. So so everything played out nicely, and then you have this nice, mellow, slightly boring, actually, single, and then so it made me think, why was that? Why did they pour all their efforts into a song like this when they could have poured their efforts onto a song like Virgin or why do I keep forgetting the name of that song? Dream. Virgin, and you know what? Virgin is actually the title track. Now I know in Korea it's a common misconception. They often interchange the two terms, lead single and title track. So sometimes when the title track is the lead single, there's no problem. But when they call a lead single of an album the title track when it's not the title of the album, it kind of gets messy. So I mean, because everyone's so hot about title tracks, why wasn't Virgin the lead single. It's it's a good song. I like it. It's something that I can really, once I hear it, bam, I know that's After School, and I like it. It's melodic enough, but it has enough attitude, and it's it's a good song. But the thing is, it doesn't sound like a single. Now they could have made it sound like a single, uh, but obviously it wasn't chosen as a single, so they didn't bother to put in the effort to make it sound like one, which I think is really a pity because it's a song that could really define After School, and I'm all about those kinds of songs. Um, so why am I being so harsh on them? I'm being harsh on them because I know they can do more. I know that they've shown us a lot of things over the years, and they and this album itself, it's they've shown us that they can do it, but they're being held back. So I'm being tough on them. So anyway, okay. So next point. The vocals on Shampoo and on a lot of the other tracks, they're not. They're cutesy. They're not normal vocals. They're not like, okay. So usually you sing like this, not the, and then they're everybody sounds shrill. Everybody sounds cute. They all sound like a bunch of 20-year-olds trying to sound like a 6-year-old, because they are a bunch of 20-year-olds trying to sound like a 6-year-old, and it doesn't sound good. I mean, okay, it sells, but really, no, really. When have I ever warranted something that I didn't like just because it sells? So, on the topic of vocals, so there are two solo songs on this album, Reina's and Jonga's. So I've said that I really like not Rain, Jonga's voice. I really do. Gorgeous, stunning, smooth with punch and power. So uh and it's very her voice is mature. Had she been a little younger, she would have been a female change. Kinda. So I actually don't like Reina's. I actually don't like Jonga's solo song. I don't. Because it's a little, like I said, a little too cutesy, and it's not Jonga. The Jonga we've seen. But I do like Reina's solo song because it's in the right range. No, oh, great. I'm spelling out some details of my vocal commentary on them. But I said that I think this was shown during Love 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 period. The Reina's vocals on Somebody Is You are a little lower than what she usually does, and they sound good. Actually, she sounds good. So actually guessed that she'd sound good singing in the lower ranges, and she is singing in the lower ranges on her solo song, which is good. Yay! So actually, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with whoever did the A&R for this, because the songs that were chosen were good. They really meshed together well. They really describe After School, but the single chosen, meh, and Jong's solo song, meh. Um, so like I said, they're pretty songs. So there are 3 re-recordings, emphasis on the re-recording part, on the album. That's Not Them Mune, obviously. Bang, duh. And When I Fall, when I Fall, actually, surprisingly. I was really surprised when I found out that was on the album, and they re-recorded it. When so the re-recording of Not Them Mune was so I liked it because it's new, but because there are little tweaks here and there. But they took out the drum part, and I like that drum part. And then they changed up the vocals a bit, make it match Shampoo. added some more auto-tune to Yui's vocals here and there. And then bang, there's nothing really different actually. Nothing. No. And then okay, so but when I fall, God, how do I start? Okay, I'm not. It's not. I'm not saying how do I start in a bad way. I'm actually saying it in a good way. So I like it a lot. I think I've said that too many times now, but it's a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous rearrangement. I mean, da. You have to hear it to believe it. The original version is nice guitars and the usual ballad come with tempo arrangement. But then this version has a band and real drums. Real drums. You know how much I like real drums. And then there's cymbals, there's drums, and during the chorus everything just explodes. Gorgeous. It's one of it really you have to hear it. You cannot listen to the album and skip this. On the topic of listening to the album and skipping. As a whole, um Virgin is, like I said at the beginning, a good album. It's an album. It's actually an album. It's not just the 12, 13, how many songs are on this? Whatever. 12, 13 songs thrown together and packaged and you choose a single out of them. It's an actual group of songs and you can see that they've made they've made a whole out of it, out of all those songs. And everything's cohesive. This is one of the few albums that I can listen to from start to finish and not skip a single track. And even in Western albums, I don't do that. So, so, so basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's a good album. Basically, after all this babbling, it's a good album. Obviously, I don't know yet if it'll be one of the best albums of the year, but so far, I can say that it's one of the most cohesive and one of the most album-like albums I've heard this year. And to be honest, and that's a compliment. I'm complimenting them. Um, I just want to see them perform these songs live well. Like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, I will literally go down on my knees and beg the Pledis to give them songs they can actually perform live. Now, I'm not sure if they can do this live because a lot of things have changed since Bang. But I'm really, really hoping that they do this well. They have to do it well. I want them to do well. um, so, over the weekend, they're making their comeback. And then, so my episode recaps will be following their comebacks on New Bang, New Corn, Inkigayo. And then next week, I know, I'm slacking off, but my vocal commentary for them will be coming. I don't know when next week because I have freshman orientation. But it's it's a work in progress. I have about 10 paragraphs of an intro done and Reina's part halfway done. I have a lot to say about her. So it will come hopefully next. Oh, okay, not hopefully. It should come next week. It will come next week. So now, now. So after I've said everything I think about the album, you will read my text review, and the text review will have a summary of what I said during this video, and then the track by track, all the nitty gritty, all the little details that need to be ironed out, and all the little details that I really, really like.